Okay guys, so this is just a little bit of a barbecue basics video. Most people understand the importance of all your barbecue equipment and your smokers and whatever, but probably the next most important thing is good quality knives, and in terms of competing, something like this knife bag here. So most of this knife bag and most of the knives within I got from Cooks Plus at Parafield, so local business here in South Australia, really good range. This bag's fairly inexpensive, canvas knife bag. Where it comes in handy is you can obviously transport your knives in a very safe manner, all rolled up in this bag. This is a 7-slot knife bag. I've got some of the knives already taken out of their little pocket, just so I can talk about them. So what goes into a knife bag is kind of a bit of personal preference. There might be a few things here missing that people like to have in their own knife bags, but this is what I like to have in mine. Covers nearly all bases. We'll start from left to right. Got a nice Dick diamond steel here. So just as important as having nice knives is having nice sharp knives. You get into trouble a lot if you're trying to cut things with blunt knives, or in terms of perfect presentation for competitions and stuff, you really want to have a nice sharp knife, nice even slices. Then we go straight into the slicing knife here. This is a Victorinox fluted brisket knife or slicing knife. So this is what we use for slicing up the briskets nice and evenly. But pretty much any type of slicing, even steak, etc., it does a fantastic job. We've got a nice flat blade, extremely narrow, fluted sides basically help that knife from sticking and stop it from sticking in the meat. I like it because as you can see, up against the chopping board, it's kind of got that recessed handle, so you can get down really low and flat across your cutting surface. So that's a really good one. I like these plastic Victorinox Fibrox handles. It's the same handle that's on my chef's utility knife here. This is also Victorinox. I like them because they're stainless steel, and then with these plastic handles, they're really good for hygiene and really easy to clean. This chef's knife, it's kind of my do-everything knife. I love this knife. I've actually got one that I just keep in my kitchen at home as well. It's nice and large. It's got a good shape on it, so you can do anything from slicing. Even if you don't want to get out the slicing knife, you can use this knife. It's nice and big. Still very light because of that plastic handle. It's got a nice curve on it, so you can still use it as a chopping knife. It really sort of does anything. You could almost get away with just this knife here, but obviously the others have their purposes too. Then we've got two different types of boning knives. These are Dick knives. They've got the expert grip handle, and I really like these knives. So these are mainly for handling raw meat. It's also nice to have a knife that's for handling raw meat, and then a knife that's for handling prepared meat, just for cross-contamination, things like that. I've got 2 boning knives. I use the smaller one for things a bit like chicken thighs and prepping things like that. The larger one more for your briskets or your pork butts and that sort of thing. But yeah, this expert grip handle, it's a real good non-slip handle, because you might be using both hands to sort of work on the meat as you're trimming it up. It can get pretty slippery. But yeah, these sort of rubbery type handles really make sure that you're not going to slip and do yourself any damage with a sharp knife. And then the last thing is just a basic bread knife. It's a little scan pan one. Just kept it on the cheap with that one, and we cut burger buns and all sorts of things with that one. But yeah, it's just your basic bread knife. So look, all up, I don't have anything super fancy in here. They're just good quality, trustworthy brands, and a good selection to do all the jobs that I need. I think all in all, knife bag and all these knives included, I picked up for a bit under $300. It's well worth investing in a setup like this if you're going to do this sort of thing frequently. I use these knives many times a week, and you certainly get what you pay for. Victorinox and Dick, these 2 brands are very good value for money. And yeah, I'd highly recommend, if you're getting into barbecue, try and get yourself a setup a little bit like this. So cheers.